to my channel. So I have decided to do a Shadowhunter series review, and I'm going to be breaking up my review into different parts. I've been wanting to film book reviews on these for so long, and I didn't want to do a review for each book, but I didn't want to do an overall review of the whole series. So I felt like this was a great kind of compromise to do parts of the Shadowhunter series. Today is going to be part 1 of the Mortal Instrument series review, and that is going to consist of the first 3 books, which are City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. Now this will be a mostly spoiler-free review. I'm gonna start with book 1 and then kind of move on to book 2 and book 3, but I am going to keep all like major plot twists and big spoilers out of this review. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give you a quick synopsis of what the Mortal Instrument series is about. We follow our main character, Clary Frey, and one day her mother goes missing and she finds herself thrown into this new world called the Shadowhunter world. She learns that these Shadowhunters are half angel, half human, and they are in charge of ridding the world of demons and kind of keeping the peace between the Shadowhunters and also the Downworlders, which consists of werewolves, vampires, and the warlocks. Now, Clary must learn to be a Shadowhunter in order to figure out how to find her mother, and in doing so, she ends up kind of befriending 3 of the main Shadowhunters, Alec, Isabel, and Jace. And Jace is kind of the, I'd say, male main character in this series. So him and Clary kind of try and work together to figure out what happened to her mother. Now, while all of this is going on, there is a lot of politics involved in this story. There is a kind of a war going on between our main villain, Valentine, and the Clave. The Clave is kind of the governing body of the Shadowhunters, and they also created the Accords, or the laws of Shadowhunters, and the Downworlders have to abide by. I really love the complex politics between the Clave and Valentine. And Valentine, he created kind of his group called the Circle. So all of the politics between the Downworlders, the Circle, and the Clave. It's very interesting, and I really liked seeing all of that throughout the books. I also really loved the magic system in this book. They use these magic symbols called runes, and these runes, they draw on their bodies, and they're able to it's able to give them extra powers like strength, invisibility. So I thought that was really, really cool. Just the whole world is so unique, and I'm really glad that I decided to pick up the series. In book 1, Clary's character, she's a little bit annoying, a little naive, and a little bit immature, which is okay because she's just learned that her mother has gone missing. She's learning about this whole new world that she had no idea about. She's on her own, and she's frightened, and things are changing, and it's scary. So of course she's trying to adapt, and she does things that, without thinking, and she kind of thinks that she can handle herself in situations that some of the other characters have had years and years of training. I absolutely love the character of Jace. He is hilarious, he's sarcastic, he's a very strong character, and I just love his demeanor, and I really like him. Also, we have a few other main characters. I love Isabel. She's strong, fierce, she's just such a badass character. And also Alec. Alec is an interesting character. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to like him, but I really did end up liking him. He is more quiet at the beginning. He's very reserved of Clary, but in the end, he kind of comes around, and I really end up really liking his character. Then we have probably between Jace and him, my other favorite character, Magnus Bane. He is a warlock, and I love his character. He's just very unique. He's so interesting. He's got just such an eclectic sense of style, and overall, great character. Oh, I did forget Simon. So Simon is Clary's best friend, and At first in book 1, I had trouble deciding kind of what was Simon's purpose. I felt like his character was just kind of there and in the way, and he wasn't particularly annoying or anything. I didn't see the purpose of his character. I do really love Cassandra Clare's writing style. It's really easy to follow. She has a great balance between description and dialogue, and you can really picture what she wants you to see. Now, as I said, in book 1, City of Bones, Clary is trying to figure out what's happened to her mother, why she's been kidnapped, who she's been kidnapped by, and she's trying to navigate this whole new world and learn the rune system and learn pretty much how to be a shadow hunter. And she starts to have a relationship with Jace. So much happens. I feel like in book 1, the plot moves very quickly. It wasn't my favorite book. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I'd say it was my second favorite of the 3. City of Glass was my favorite, and then City of Bones, and then City of Ashes. Overall, I thought this was a really good kind of like first introductory book to the series. You learn a lot about the politics. You're very intrigued. There is a nice plot twist at the end, and I was really curious where the story was gonna go. Okay, now moving on to City of Ashes, which is book 2. I had so much, it was so hard for me to get through City of Ashes. Not because it was a bad book, but because I had trouble with Clary's character. As I mentioned, in City of Bones, she's a little bit naive, a little bit immature, a little annoying, but she gets just more all of those things in City of Ashes, and you feel like you think she grows up a little bit and she kind of learns you need to think before you act. You need to realize you haven't been in this world very long. You can't do everything that the other shadow hunters are doing, and I give her props for that. She is very brave, but she needs to realize that at some points, she's doing more harm than good, because the others have to end up protecting her while, facing demons and stuff. In City of Ashes, we are learning more about Valentine's plot against the Clave. Now, if you haven't read if you haven't read City of Bones, then there will be spoilers from now on, okay? So at the end of City of Bones, we learn that Clary and Jace are brother and sister. It was unexpected, definitely, and I was very taken aback, and I'm and it's hard because I ship Jace and Clary, but obviously you can't ship them because they're siblings. So that was one of the biggest things that I had trouble with. In City of Ashes, we finally, get Jocelyn back from Valentine. She is in some sort of coma from a potion, and we're trying to figure out how to wake her up. I love Jace's battle, internal and external conflicts. He's conflicted because he didn't know that Valentine was his father, so he's having trouble grasping, do I hate my father, do I not? He's done terrible things, but he's still my father, so he's struggling with these issues. It shows how complex and how things are just not black and white. I still enjoyed the writing style. It was very easy. The plot did move pretty quickly, but I personally had trouble getting through it just because of certain characters. I still absolutely love Isabel, Alec, Magnus Bane, and Simon now. I really like Simon a lot more. I know what his purpose is, and I feel like he's gonna contribute a lot to the plot. I feel like there were better action scenes in City of Ashes than in City of Bones. I really loved the ending of City of Ashes. I also love the cliffhanger at the end of City of Ashes. Way better than the plot twist in City of Bones. And lastly, we have City of Glass, which is book 3. Now, if you have not read City of Ashes, you will be spoiled, but if you have not read City of Glass, you will not be spoiled. I loved City of Glass. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did give City of Ashes, I believe, a 3 out of 5 as well. But in City of Glass, I ended up giving a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The first I would say, third of the book took a while to get into. Once again, it was really Clary's character. I was just waiting for her to grow up, and she finally did. Her character just completely changed. She grew up so much. She became such a strong character. Jace is still my favorite. Magnus Bane is such a great character. I think he gets just more complex, more unique. I love Simon now. I love him as a vampire, and we now learn that he can walk in sunlight. It just adds some complexity, because you're wondering, like, okay, why can he walk in the light? Because there have been vampires that I believe had drank Shadowhunter blood before, but they can't go out in the sun. So what is so special about Jace? So in this book, we're kind of learning more about Jace, what's going on with him, and like his heritage. Then we learn more about Clary, we learn more about Jocelyn. We are introduced to new characters, which the new characters are pretty great. One of the main new characters that we meet is Sebastian, and he kind of has a thing for Clary, and that's all I'm going to say. The plot of City of Glass is in Idris, which is like the homeland of the Shadowhunters. The plot just becomes more complex. We learned a lot about the Clave, and we learn how corrupt the Clave can truly be. Oh my gosh, what's her name? It starts with an I. What is her name? Inquisitor. The Inquisitor. Okay. So the way the Inquisitor treated Jace in City of Ashes really shows you, is the Clave really better than the Circle? I mean, what Valentine is trying to achieve with the Circle is he's trying to get rid of all of the corrupt, kind of the Accords, but he's doing it in a way that's crazy. He's very hypocritical, but I also feel like the Clave is hypocritical as well. I love the ending. It wraps up very nicely at the end. I thought it was a quite interesting plot twist. I believe, if I'm correct, Cassandra Clare originally wanted to make this a trilogy. So I believe City of Glass was supposed to be like the final book in the series. I really loved City of Glass. Alright guys, well that is it for my part 1 of the Mortal Instruments series review. I really hope you enjoyed it. I definitely do recommend reading these books because it is so unique, complex, very interesting, and overall really fantastic concept and story. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time in part 2. Bye!